live for another Week 4 game in the MML. This is Season 5 MML, and the teams are really starting to get ready to head into the latter half of the season. A bunch of games have already been played, and already on a Monday, a very busy Monday, and Tuesday promises to kick off with more exciting action. Let's take a look at the two teams that are playing now, and they are in the play pool. The MML splits everything into play pools. Rotating conferences basically rotate and pair off with each other. However, these two teams are both part of the Wasteland Athletic Conference, although it's tied with the SCC, which is the Sword Coast Conference for this year. If you take a look at the schedule, the only other teams that have played in this play pool are Rodentia ad Nauseam and Witches coming to a tie yesterday. If you look at the leaderboard right now, Rodentia's got 2 wins, 2 draws, and they're tied there with Witches Coven. Behind them, Los Pumas at 2-1. And then Leaping Lizard, uncharacteristically toward the bottom of the standings this year. They are sitting at number 6 yet, although 6 is really not that accurate because some games have already been played. Or actually, it is kind of accurate because those other 2 are at the top. So Leaping Lizard's got no wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. And the Thugz of Wheldrake are sitting winless and drawless. They've got 3 losses. So this should be an interesting game. Taking a quick look at the teams. Let's take a look at really quickly who's hosting. It's the Thugz are hosting, and they're at the Black Stronghold, I believe is what the name of their stadium is. And let's take a look at that. Yep, the Black Stronghold. The Black Stronghold is equipped with Astro Granite, so players that go for an extra, sprint, an extra step that they may cause them to trip could be very disastrous, especially for skinks who have very low level armor. So Leaping Lizard should watch out for that. It looks like we have only 10 on the roster for the Thugz, which means they'll be starting with a journeyman. Yep, only 10. So, and how many of those are Chaos Warriors? They got 3 Chaos Warriors, so they must have recently lost one, and they've got Baseball Fury, the Minotaur. No rerolls. You may have noticed that. The Thugz play with no rerolls. If you look at their motto, it says rerolls are for limp-wristed elves. The guy that can do a lot, actually this whole team, and they got some claw. They got Ios Agia Uglai has a claw. That beastman can be dangerous. Baseball with his mighty blow can be dangerous, and he's got looks like a tentacle. There's some diving catch. This team is kind of taking advantage of the ability for Beastmen and Chaos to kind of build different builds and complement each other. And Harry is a very capable coach, although I do feel that the commitment to no rerolls for this team really does make him very, very vulnerable, especially for a coach like Don Eagle, who really plays the percentages, understands the statistics, and uses them to his advantage. Taking a look at Leaping Lizard. Leaping Lizard is one of those top-notch contenders that everybody looks as like a very, very high seed, one of the top teams, often looked at in the past as the top contender, but just never managed to put it together and get past the playoffs to that championship. So we take a look at that roster. Don Eagle does not favor his skinks. He favors the Sorai. You ask him, he won't use apothecaries on him. In one case, he's even killed a star skink with the apothecary because he caught a niggling injury. That being said, you can see him. He likes to load him up with a sidestep and the diving tackle, which can be just outright aggravating to somebody who's trying to break away or potato up a sideline. But he does have Ricky, who is a 9-movement skink that's as fast as a gutter runner, and he is a threat to one turn. Take a look at this roster, though. These 3 right here. These 3 big guys, Hodor, Kano, and Snake. These guys will really ruin your day, and Blake can come up and assist with a guard. All right, so with that being said, I'm sure that these 2 teams have already taken the field, so I'm going to try to tune in to the to Cabal TV and see if the satellite has taken effect. If either of the coaches are available to let me know regarding inducements. Have any inducements been taken? I imagine Harry's got some. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, I've took Wizard, and I've actually gone against my code and taken 1 reroll.
Oh, nice. Bought a reroll. Nice. See, so, and I definitely hear this, so the game has started. I have said this before, I've played Harry with rerolls. Harry with rerolls is a different story. It's a different threat. Somebody who has been playing consistently with no rerolls really is forced to understand the calamity of taking like a high risk of failure action. So when you give that person 1 or 2 or if even 3 on a team, then that person is able to use, really effectively employ them more than most coaches who would look at 3 as on the short side of having rerolls. And Satellite's almost focusing in.
Just can you invite Seston to the party? He wants to co-commentate.
Great. Let's see. I think he's invited. There you go. Great. I'll have a co-announcer. All right, and the kickoff happens, and it looks like there's been some intimidation on the ref. So this game could get really bloody. I think somebody's going over to the sideline from the crowd side. People here at the Black Stronghold are no joke, and they told the ref, hey, you're staying out of this match. So opening block by Wade, who is unable to hurt the, is that a Chaos Warrior on the ground?
It's a Beastman.
No, it's a Beastman. He puts Wiry Pelt, is down by Wade, but unfortunately Wade has just not had the vicious success this season that he's had in the past. He's actually been surpassed in the violence rankings in the league leaders by some of the by a quartet of really nasty other contenders, and Coach Don Eagle has expressed his distaste for that. He believes Wade should always be at the top of those standings, and I hate to see what kind of motivation techniques Don Eagle may have put Wade through this week to try to correct his softness.
I'm here, but I'm loading it up.
Great. So we've been joined by Seston. Awesome. Seston had he is the coach of Dignity, as you may know. If you guys have not had the chance to read some of these articles posted on mmlpro.com, that is mmlpro.com. I mean, you'll see some great action here on the field. The announcing is a lot of fun. If you enjoy this, if this makes the game even better for you and you find all this interesting, definitely go online. Man, there is a whole world that has been created on there. And my co-host, Seston, puts out, probably the articles I enjoy reading the most on there. I mean, really some of my favorite articles from Coach Seston involving his high elf team, Dignity. And I was very, very happy to see that this morning one of my players, Hamshank, got a fruit basket from Seston's thrower, Royalty, in appreciation for a pretty entertaining pass that Hamshank made yesterday. It was his first successful, actually his first even attempt, and it was successful.
Yeah.
His first pass attempt in the MML, and it was successful. So that was pretty awesome. Very, very classy move by Royalty.
Last year we sent one to whoever the thrower is from the Grunts.
Leroy.
He made that. Yeah, Leroy. He made that long bomb pass. It's like,
yeah.
Wow. He needs a fruit basket. So now I'm sending it whenever anybody makes an impressive pass that I want.
Awesome. That is awesome. And
Unless they're a high elf, because it's expected of them then.
So the Holy Roller Thrower didn't get one.
No.
Ooh, look at this.
Plus those poser elves kept fouling me, so poser elves.
And there is a foul. Speaking of fouls, Paymane gets up. He didn't appreciate the way Wade came at him before. And this has become a pretty standard MML response to Pylon. Some coaches, like myself, they just don't appreciate it. And if you pile on them, they're going to get up and make it a point to foul you. Maybe it'll make you think twice.
Pylon is nasty. That's the greatest way to remove it.
Yep. So you've got the Beastmen marking up Skinks, and I can't stress this enough. The Thugz just haven't. I don't think they've put together a winning season yet, and they've been in the MML since season 2. I think they took a one season break, and I am a firm believer that is largely if not, it is directly because of Harry's refusal to use rerolls on this team. So I think, Don has described his games with Coach Chase JJ, who really focuses on fouling and the brutality, as he called them guaranteed wins in the past, and he looks at it as a guaranteed win in his schedule. I would say that if you're playing the Thugz, you're probably looking at a tight game. You're probably not going to run away on them, but you're probably going to come out winning because of the no rerolls factor. But that being said, Harry will decimate your team if you're not careful. So Leaping Lizard, I'm expecting to win this game, but this could end up being a very, very bloody mess. So Don needs to be careful is the moral of the story.
I love tentacles on a Minotaur.
Yeah, there's no running. Although he's marked up a Saurus, so it's not like the Saurus is going to duck out anyway. He's not going to dodge out. Saurai are not very agile. Why repel? Getting pushed back by Kano, telling him basically step off.
Got a pretty nice little wine war going on here. Who's sitting in the back waiting for a skink to get out? Sloutly Mantle.
Slukely, yeah, Slukely Mantle. Where is he?
He's in the back, playing safety.
Oh, yes, this is smart. A lot of coaches, sometimes including myself, just they want all their personnel up there in the action, ready to hit somebody, and there's just not enough safeties being played, and it can be disastrous. Again, Harry, from everything I've observed, is a very capable coach who understands spacing and plays very smart. But again, over the course of these matches, the dice are just going to go crap at some point, and one bad turn can mess up your entire match. So the lack of rerolls is killer. But this time he's purchased one in the inducement. So let's see how it goes for the Thugz. The Thugz before have only used rerolls when they were awarded them because of what do they call that? What can you win them on? The cheer event or the
on the cheering fans and something coaching.
Yep.
Or I don't. It's like superior coaching, but that doesn't sound right. It means the same thing, but
yep,
that doesn't sound right.
And again, Don Eagle showing his disregard for Skink's lives. They are matched up with, they're just marking up some very dangerous.
Not the ball guy. The ball guy ran away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Don Eagle has love for the ball, and for ball security, and for winning. Don Eagle does not care about these Skinks. Don Eagle could care less about these Skinks.
Does he still have 3 Strength 5 Saurus?
He does. No. So he's got 2 Strength 5 Saurai, and the Croxagore Hodor, who is one of the more reliable Croxagores in the league. I mean, he doesn't bonehead often, but the block ability on the Saurus really makes him. On the Crocs really makes him dangerous. And Harry doing what most people would expect. This is smart, though, by Don, right? You've got a Chaos Warrior who, whenever he hits somebody, he effectively makes their armor 7, right? If you're not sure why and you're listening to this, basically, just Claws, look into what Claw does. Yeah, but the Claw skill basically makes the armor of anybody on the field armor 7. So what Don is doing is he's taking a skink, but he doesn't have Mighty Blow. So what a lot of Chaos...
He doesn't have Tackle either.
Right.
There's another reason to bring the skink up.
Yep. So he's basically making sure, like, if this Chaos Warrior is going to hit somebody, he might as well hit somebody that's already got low armor, so the Claw is basically useless. Smart.
And has dodge so that if you choose to attack the skink, then there's less chance of him being knocked down.
Yep.
Brilliant use of skinks. Risky, since skinks are important, but brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is normally the technique that Lizard coaches will follow is try to protect the skinks with the Saurai, try to keep the skinks alive, because if all your skinks go, the Saurai are not exactly adept ball handlers, and even picking it up is going to be a task. But in this case, when you're facing a team with a bunch of claw, that could cut right through that AV9.
You're in just as much trouble if you lose all your SARS to a claw team.
Exactly. Shoot, I would say you can lose a skink. You lose one Saurus, your team just suffered a major setback. So another successful hit on the Saurus Slade by Smirnoff. Smirnoff, I think, used to play for the Bill Cowher Half Hour. Is that right?
I don't know.
Yeah, he did.
Great. Yep. So more shots. If he's watching, he's proudly looking on. More shots. Proudly follows all of the people that he sells to pro players, to pro teams. So when he sells a contract, he also he has kind of a vested interest in. He stands by his quality. So he's definitely been cheering on Smirnoff's exploits over here for the Thugz. Of course, we've had Hez complain that I think that he said the one he got from more shots he wasn't very happy with, right, for the reptile dysfunction.
Elson costumes, yeah. Elson Chaos Warrior costumes.
That being said, I think the Punisher's working out pretty well for him this year. Punisher's been terrorizing people over there with his block and mighty blow skills. This is so often when you have two like bashy teams like these, what's kind of happens now. This is what you would expect, right? They run at each other like Braveheart. They meet in the middle. They clash, and then there's just a stall that turns into a nasty mess, and it never moves. The problem is that because of how Chaos are built, they're not especially high armor. Only the Chaos Warriors have armor value of 9. Everybody else on the field has an armor value of 8, so they are susceptible to getting cut down. At the same time, they have they have a lot of claw availability on their team in Mighty Blow, so they can cut down.
Every single person can learn Mighty Blow.
Yep, or claw.
How about that?
And
yeah,
claw,
or claw, yeah.
So you can have a whole team of what's called what do they call it? Claw MB. Claw and B, and then you can throw Pylon on it, and it can be Claw Plum, a whole C-Palm team is what they call it, which can be disastrous.
Yeah. It's also really boring, and I don't suggest new people do that, because it's just being an asshole, and it's really not that much fun.
I'll tell you something.
Make one or two Claw Palm guys, and that's all you need.
I personally don't hate it. Because if you are especially take a look at the MML, right? There are now it looks like the orc teams. Like you take a look at the Green Tide Titans. You take a look at the New Orkland Grunts. Even the Wrecking Crew. Yeah, they have skills that allow them to move the ball and try to actually play to win. Those teams are bloody, man. Those teams have like 5, 6 Mighty Blow players and high armor, right? So if you're a Chaos team and you go up against those, every time those guys hit you, with your 8 armor beast man, you're susceptible to have your guy wiped out. So to me, there's nothing wrong with equipping your guy who has less armor with Mighty Blow and Claw and let that guy come out and take down those orcs. I think it's natural selection, man. I would totally
you're telling me I should bring a Chaos team in with 11 Claw Palm guys for the
Why not?
For the next season?
I mean, you know what? You leave one. You leave one. One guy that's got the extra arm and sure hands.
Sure hands.
And dodge maybe if you can get it. But why not? I mean, it's so funny. Chaos gets like this bad rap, but Chaos that only lasts but so long, right? It takes you a while. Chaos is really hard to build up, right? And Thunden's pointing out the dwarves. You're right. That's fair. That's very fair. Take a look at the Granite City Grimbeards. Take a look at Quartz, Prague number 5 team that just obliterated, or not permanently, but just put a beat down on the Titans yesterday, right? So yes, Thunden. Harry picked up a reroll. He actually spent on the reroll. But so you take a look.
Is that a Chaos Warrior with diving tackle?
Let's see. I think I did see that. Yep. Yes, it is. That's Reap Warp Dalshin.
That is. I kind of like the idea of that. That's kind of neat.
Definitely. Look, if you roll doubles on the on the Chaos Warriors for building them up, you could decide to, you know what, I won't take dodge with this guy. I'm going to just make sure that every time you try to get away from him, he's going to make it hell.
Well, if you give these guys break tackle, then dodge loses some of its value.
Yeah. Of course, it's always valuable.
And break tackle is easy to get. Yeah.
Yeah. True. But diving tackle can really hurt, especially if they're playing a team like elves or something like that who's trying to dodge away.
Or these skinks. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, we've seen that popularity in the diving tackle actually start getting used by elves and by skinks, because sometimes there's a player that potatoes up the sideline and you manage to catch him, but all he's got to do, you have just enough movement to mark him up, and you don't want him getting away. So rather than allow him to dodge, put that diving tackle on him, you're going to force him to fight. He said, okay, so Thunden's saying that he thinks the reason Chaos gets a bad rep over the other Bash teams is, what would you rather have, Claw or 1 AV? 1 AV? Oh, one AV?
Yeah, that's what Mighty Blow gives you. Reduces the AV.
Oh, 1 minus AV. Okay, right. Right, so they get another option to bash up, right, and it is very destructive. But again, you could argue the same about the Norse, right? The Norse are basically dwarves with movement, but they're glass cannons.
And that's no armor, yeah.
Right, and that's what I would argue. Chaos, when Chaos is... Yeah, I know what AV was, I just didn't know what he meant, 1 AV. As that was a reference to the Mighty Blow. So yeah, orcs can come... Yeah. And that's the trade-off, right? Is that orcs and dwarves come in with the whole team being especially hard to get armor breaks, and they have Mighty Blow. So they'll come in, they'll wreck you, and then you can't do anything back to them. But the one team that is, by and large, equipped throughout to make that armor useless is Chaos. So yes, if I was an orc coach, I would really despise facing Chaos, because they neutralize the advantages I have. That being said, for an elf team playing against Chaos, it's really not that bad, because they're living on low armor anyway. Or a Norse team, stuff like that. So, their biggest thing is going to be, at least their armor generally is 8 instead of 9, so I could, cut them down. And they also take a while to get the skills. So, and I do recognize, man, having a claw palm team, a whole chaos kill team, is a real problem if you're facing them. It can decimate your team. It is an issue, but I put that on the coaches in the league to not let that happen, man. So you don't let that team skill up. If a chaos kill, for a proper chaos kill team, right? What do you got to be in the 2000s?
You can see that it's developing that way before it's there. You got to do something about it. Exactly.
Yeah. And I think there's only 2 teams in them. And now the MML has been ongoing now for 5 seasons. And if you look at the Titans, look at the Grunts, they're not over 2,000 TV yet. So I think especially in the pros, it's really, really difficult to build a real kill team. Because other people are building their teams up, and they kind of tend to cancel each other. If anything, I'm a big fan of what these guys did over here on the East Division. More Shots came over with his Bill Cower Power Hour. They're not exactly they're not a kill team at all. They're built different ways, but they have a lot
of kill guy or two, but.
Yeah, they do have a lot of kill potential. And the Titans are they're an orc kill team. Let's face it, they pack a lot of
the Grunts.
Yep, and the Grunts. But they loaded the East Division with dwarves and orcs, and all of those Bashy guys. It's like a big heavyweight fight over there, and they're taking each other out. And I'm a fan. I'm a fan that they're cutting each other down to size, and hopefully what comes out next season will be more manageable.
I agree.
So yeah, Thunder
City are trying to go more agile. Teams on the west and all the Bashy teams on the east. Well, not all, but more than each side is a little bit unbalanced, is what I mean. Definitely not all.
I mean, I definitely got to say I'm having success. Like my human team is viewed as like Bashy, I guess, for the play pool. Because I'm in a mostly
for humans, your team actually is pretty bashy.
I got some Mighty Blow in there because there's a lot of AV7.
Yeah. Yeah, and humans have that ability where they can grow either way. It's really not even that hard for them to, after they have a guy get fired or die a guy or two, then they can completely switch and go the other way.
Yeah.
Or they can run it balanced. And who's the other human team?
Disco Debo's Los Pumas.
His team is really well balanced between agility and bashing.
Man, that guy will switch gears on you mid-game. You'll think you're playing an elf team, and he'll turn around, and half of your team will be gone. And you'll be like, what the hell happened? And you'll be like, oh, yeah, we can hit too. I really did not appreciate humans until I started taking until I took the Greendale Human Beings Pro. I didn't even like them in the farm that much, honestly. They're probably my least favorite farm team. And now they're doing well.
Yeah, they're fun. Huh?
They are. I really appreciate the value of a human catcher. I really didn't see it before because of the 2 strength I don't like, but now I got
movement is magic.
Yeah. And the skill build, I mean, they're like yeah, I saw that. So there's the lack of the rerolls kicking in.
Did you really just use your only reroll on the loner?
Yeah, I didn't realize he was the loner.
Yikes.
Having a reroll's a gift, I'm not used to it.
Oh, I can use a reroll! What do I do? Oh, crap, that guy doesn't use rerolls. That's great.
I can concentrate now, I ain't got any.
And Snake clearing a path. By the way, a Strength 5 Saurus just really changes the playing field so much. I mean, to successfully take him down, you got to take most players are your average strength is 3, right? So if you take your average strength 3 guy and you've got a Strength 5 Saurus marking him up, it's going to take you 3 guys, including the guy you're hitting with, just to get a 1-die block. If you want to get 2 dice on the guy, now it's 4 guys. That can really be disruptive when there's 3 Strength 5 guys, and it's not even like the Undead team. They come with 2 mummies, right? 2 Strength 5 guys. Those guys, the whole field is trying to avoid them or concentrating all their efforts to try to bring them down and make them stay down. Now imagine you got a team of 3 of those guys and they move with 6, they can cover 18 yards in 1 turn.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it's a nightmare.
I don't know why Don would ever leave this team. I know he loves the Necro, but man, this team has the tools to go all the way.
You get bored. I get bored.
I wouldn't get bored until I got a championship in my hand. Then maybe I could say, all right, now I've done that. I just think the grass is gonna, seems greener on the other side. Uh-oh, is that baseball? That's baseball fury. Getting stunned. Nasty hit by Kano. Kano. And now you see Hodor getting into the fray. He sees his teammate getting hyped up, and he's going to push back Paymane. By the way, I've long thought, if I manage to get 2 double rolls for a Crocs in leveling him, right? Obviously, the first one is going to be block if it's early and you haven't taken Juggernaut. But the second one, a lot of people, and my first inclination, oh, look at that. The Skink's getting up in the mix. Billy, too, trying to win his coach's respect. You look at Don. Don is still just doesn't really care. He's not that impressed. Don does not like Skinks. But I was thinking, obviously my first answer is Pro, right? Because that lets you get the automatic reroll without having to burn a reroll.
With the exact same chance. With the exact same chance as you would have had with burning a reroll. What
about Frenzy on a Crocs, man?
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of Frenzy, and if you use your Crocs for a lot of with the tail and stuff to try and trap the like skinks or catchers, the dodgy guys, then I might really consider putting Tackle.
Yeah.
If you're already using him that way, where he's moving to them.
So there's a delay here
to stop their movement.
Don Eagle hasn't stopped the Apothecary from coming out yet, but he does. He lets Billy 2 get rocked by that fireball. We're going to see Billy go. And that opens up a hole in the cage.
Yeah, it does.
Vinny looks vulnerable now. So
there's not a lot of Chaos players within range of getting there.
No, they're not. And that's why with everybody down and beat up.
I actually missed the fireball because I was grabbing some water. What happened?
Oh, really? That's
that was a fireball.
So there was a fireball, and amongst that charred remains, Oliver hit the ground, and Billy was removed from the pitch. He was hurt. I think he's badly hurt. Right? Okay. That wasn't a permanent stat down, right?
No problem. I don't double on that anyway.
I wasn't paying enough attention.
Yeah, I didn't think you would. That's why I was just wondering why you were actually thinking about it. So yeah, be careful, Donovan. That could have gone the wrong way. You could have been in you could have pulled a Bortbot with the doing the PB dance while Warpig was going down. So Harry pulls Reap Warp Dalshin over there. It doesn't look like he's going to risk the go for it to make the hit on Vinny. There you go. There's that safety. That's where that safety comes in very handily. And Slooply putting down Vinny, frees up the ball. The ball drops into Slade's hands. He's unable to hold on to it. Drops it to Smirnov's hands, who fumbles around. He's unable to hold on to it. Unfortunately for the Chaos Warriors, or for the Chaos team, rather, that ball is now in 3 tackle zones of Sorai. One of them being Mr. Boogeyman Wade. And Harry risking the the cruel caress of the Astro Granite to mark up Minnie. Yeah, it was a really bad bounce for Chaos. Absolutely. Even if it would have gone to the left, if it would have bounced over here by, what's the Brutusinu Dalshin, you might have said maybe it's worth, a future risking a tackle. Bless you.
Thank you.
It's a very interesting game. There's a big traffic jam over here, but unfortunately, if the Chaos team doesn't get baseball back in the action and doesn't start using some of that claw on this on the Sorai armor, the Lizard team is just going to pick that ball right back up and keep marching downfield the same way they were, this time with a tighter cage. Oh, Ausagai.
Yeah. What a name.
Hurt. Uh-oh. That really hurts to lose a Strength 4 guy with claw.
It sure does.
And, in my personal opinion is that the Chaos has not been making enough use of their claw. And now they've lost one of the claw players. And
how many do they have?
I think they only had 2 coming in. There's one of the Beastmen has it. But again, Don has done a good job of neutralizing the guys with claw. He's forcing them to put hits on skinks, or he's marking them up so that they can't get the necessary dice they need to use.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find the other guy with claw.
That's how you stop these guys.
Yep. Where is the other guy with claw? So Baseball is a Mighty Blow guy.
He came that way. What has he learned? He's got tentacles. Juggernaut? Is that what that is?
What, with Baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He's got Juggernaut. And,
he's growing in exactly the same way I usually do.
That may have been his only claw player now that I thought there was a Beastman with claw.
I thought there was too.
They've got one more Mighty Blow.
Oh. Ouch, and Hodor is removing Paymane from the pitch. And that was a blitz, so Hodor is going to now mark up, he's going to put his guard skills onto Frisney Beard. Yeah, there's no other claw players on the pitch, huh? That's a real problem. Only claw players.
That's who he targeted.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very smart. Once that guy's gone, guess what? We're back to a bunch of AV9.
Yeah. Your Saurus aren't scared anymore.
Mm-mm.
Now we can fight them like they're orcs.
Yep.
Yep.
And it looks, I mean, Silly runs over there and makes it look easy with picking that ball up. It's like Vinny's going to go mark a couple of the beastmen that can do damage, and Minnie manages to knock down Frisneybeard back toward Hodor. It's looking grim for the Chaos team. Harry trying to figure out the right move.
Tough.
Yeah, Thunden pointed out that pickup, the failed pickup would have been the only hope of keeping the Lizards from scoring this half.
Well, they had 2 guys go down this turn. That's really tough.
Yeah. So far, only 1 skink has been removed from the pitch, which means that unless there is a further injury...
Oh, if he removes Wade... No, this is stunned.
Stunned, yep. But, that's going to allow him to put a tentacle on the ball carrier. And that's exactly what he does. That's a problem. Right? How does that... So, Seston, you're basically our expert here on, like, how the actually, you and Don are kind of our MML experts on, like, how some of these skills work statistically. Tentacles is different from tail, right? Tail would
yes.
Having a tail allows you to knock a die off of, or one die off of.
One number off of it, yeah.
Right.
It gives you -1 to the dodge out.
Right. But the
tentacles, in order to make before you can make the roll to dodge out, first you have to make some kind of contested strength test against him. It's been a while since I've done it. But it is contested strength, so with a skink strength 2 and a minotaur strength 5, he doesn't have a lot of chance to get away. I can't tell you the exact math of it, but don't remember the mechanics right now.
So it says the player uses the skill when opposing player attempts to dodge, blah, blah, blah. The opposing player rolls 2d6, adding their own player's strength. So in this case, it would be 2d6 plus 5 for baseball.
Okay.
All right. And then, hold on, I'm just looking at the action over here as Kano hits Wolfrey Pelt. All right, and then let's go back to reading this. And then subtracts the Tentacles player's strength from the score. If the result is 5 or less, the moving player is held firm and his action ends immediately. So,
okay, so the Dodger rolls 2d6, and in this case adds 2. And then he subtracts...
3. Remember, the skink has... No. It's the guy with the strength. So he rolls 2d6.
Oh.
Right? No, wait. Maybe it is. Maybe you're right. I'm sorry. Let's try that again. The opposing player rolls 2d6, adding their own player's strength and subtracting the tentacle's strength from the score. Okay.
It's 2 minus 3. So he's going to roll 2d6 minus 3. And what did you say the target number was?
5
7?
or less, they're held
5.
firm. If it's 5 or less, they're held
so he
firm.
rolls 2d6 minus 3, and he needs to get a 6.
So if he rolls basically an 8 or less, he's held firm.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. So he has to roll a 9 or more, which is 6? No, wait. 10 dice out of the 36?
I don't know.
1, 3... Yeah. 10 dice out of the 36.
That's not good. But Don Eagle says, you know what? Screw that math. Why don't we just remove baseball from the equation? And let's not worry about what that roll is.
That's the key right there.
And
Go away, tentacles.
Balaki comes over and lays a nasty hit on baseball. And now he's going to go back over and shield off wherever the skink is going.
I saw that video yesterday, too.
I love that show, man. He needs a the Leaping Lizard's next source needs to be named Aaron.
Uh-huh.
Reap Warp Dao Shin is knocked back by Oliver. By the way, I didn't even notice. I didn't notice this. It looks like Hodor boneheaded. We were all worried about baseball's tentacles.
He did.
So that's a problem. That tail is no longer impeding Frisney. When you bonehead, he's sitting around scratching himself, looking all kinds of ways. Forgot what he's supposed to do. He's not even going to notice Frisney run right past him. And failed dodge.
Where was he at? Over here on the end?
I think he was over, I think that was by Crayley Mantle.
By Kano?
Crayley? By Crayley Mantle?
Oh.
I think that was where he was, yeah. By the Mighty Blow, the Mighty Blow Beastman. So...
Oh, there he is, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so now, because Wade decided to pile on...
Anyway.
Because Wade decided to pile on, that basically leaves baseball to go pull the same maneuver and hold that skink in place. Unless Harry wants to come from the other side and do it, but you know, the chance you're taking is when you blitz with baseball, there's a 1 in 6 chance that he might just wild animal and start scratching himself on the ground over there and rolling over and wait to be petted.
Well, if he doesn't blitz, he only has a 50% chance to move up.
True. The other thing is you got Bruno Dalshin, this guy laying over here on the left side. If you're looking from the Chaos side of the pitch,
yeah, I see him.
Right. So if you don't blitz to get him up and push Snake off, you kind of lose him unless you're trying to dodge him out, which can cause problems too. So it's basically Harry's got to make a choice. Does he want to risk baseball coming in and laying that hit on Slade? And we were talking about that, and that's exactly what he starts doing.
What's the right move, I think?
Baseball Fury, yeah, probably what I would have done. Baseball Fury just starts biting his own fur, wriggling around over there, and man, that was probably the last hope for the Thugz to stop this touchdown. Without some kind of maybe column defense at this point, I think maybe that's the only way to maybe at least, or you could just say screw it and start bashing, where available. So, I mean, having Hodor boneheaded kind of created an option over there. He's going to run the safety back. I'm going to run a couple safeties back and say screw it. And the clicks can't come fast enough for the Thugz. And that's the other thing with this game, man. You let this...
He's daring him to make the go for it, I guess.
Yep. Leaping Lizard does have 2 available rerolls. So, I mean, they got a reroll for this turn if they want it. So he's probably gonna make that go for it. It's a better choice than trying to pass it off to Mini for 67%, and then still have to make a reroll. I mean, go for it. So the question comes down to: can Silly make 2 83% extra steps to get 4 extra yards past his usual sprint range?
And if he doesn't, does he smash his head on the astral granite?
Well, again, Don takes that out of our speculation by just saying, hey, we're just going to get it done. I'm not going to worry about those percentages. I'm just going to run Silly over there and score the TD.
Good job, Silly. Good job.
There are ways for Chaos teams to score a one-turn touchdown, but I think you need everybody. So, and I'm not an expert in it, in a one-turn touchdown with Chaos. So, I think we may.
If he still had a couple claws, I would say that bashing would be a better idea. But without the claws, maybe you do want to go for it.
I don't even think he has the personnel for it. Honestly, I don't.
Okay.
So I just, that's me. I don't know how to do it.
How many spaces do you have to push? You need 13.
For 6? Yeah.
They have 6. They can get 2 of them with the. Yeah.
Yeah, you get 2 with the go for it.
That's a lot of pushes. That's a lot of pushes. You only have 1 frenzy guy.
Yep.
And
I think we're just going to see Harry smash and bash.
Yep, I agree. That's the best shot. They set the Saurus up behind to try and prevent the frenzy, or to mess it up if it goes bad.
Yep.
Actually, to protect against the fall.
against the fall.
Okay. Well, it protects both, don't it? That's great.
No, it doesn't protect versus Frenzy.
Sure it does.
No, it won't.
Oh, no, I guess it doesn't.
No. He's too bad. So he wants. So if his character gets, if his Saurus gets knocked back there, basically Harry won't be able to surround him completely. And fouling, I'm not sure on how many you need to effectively foul on AV9. How many assists? Right.
I would say 4.
Yeah, 4 assists.
I'd like to have a 5 or 6 or more for a fall. Otherwise, I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, on AV9 4 assists.
How is it calculated again?
It's each assist makes it so that the armor
less,
you have to roll one less, yeah.
And then when you actually make the foul roll, it's 2 dice. Then you have to beat.
It's a normal armor roll.
Yeah, it's a normal armor break. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so with 2 assists, you can make AV9 AV7.
Yes.
Which isn't bad. Now the bad side of fouling, obviously, is that there are 2 chances for if you roll doubles, or at any point. So if you roll doubles on the attempt to foul, and then or doubles on the injury roll, your guy will get ejected, which is really bad. So I've never calculated what the percentage chance of rolling doubles are for.
You have about, assuming that you can break the armor. So assuming that you would get enough armor break that you don't even want to count, you don't even want to reduce your chance by the armor break roll.
Right.
You have about a 50% chance to do a KO or worse, and a 30% chance for your guy to be sent away.
Huh.
But then that's reduced by the chance to break the armor, because you're not going to get it to 100%.
You see a mighty blow kick in, and Oliver gets stunned.
That's not good enough to make a difference right now.
By the way, I personally don't like if I can, unless I've got like a 100% foul chance or something like that, and the game's like I really need it. I kind of don't like that for the turn 8 foul. I'm not a big fan of it, only because one of the most probable results, right? Am I correct about this? One of the most probable results from a foul is the stun, right? I think if you roll...
Yeah, about half. Yep,
half,
it's
right?
about half.
So there's a 50% chance that if you're successful in your foul, you're going to stun the guy. And a stun in turn 8 is useless. So you're taking a 30% chance you're going to get your guy thrown out of the game, and a 50% chance that your guy is going to get...
That didn't do anything, right.
Yeah.
Of course, that chance is improved if you have a dirty player.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, dirty player changes the game.
And it also makes a big difference if you're fouling with a 40 cost Bretonnian peasant against a 250 cost Heil Flitzer.
Right, and you have the reserves on your bench. Yeah, if you got the reserves on your bench, you might say, why not? But I'm just saying, my default is I don't like the turn 8 foul. It's just you're too much risk for too little chance of reward. But sometimes desperate times, you'll call for it. I've done it before. Yeah, even like the turn 7 for me, the turn 7 foul, if something critical is going on, then turn 7 foul can basically remove the guy for the rest of the half, so I might do that. But to me, it's better you foul really early in the time, so that guy that you get is gone.
Through the whole game,
Yeah.
The same with your mighty blow. If you can, you want to get all your mighty blows making their attacks in the first turn.
Absolutely.
Because everybody you take out is an advantage through the whole game.
That's what I'm more, and I think Thunden said this before. He's more. He can't think of many situations in which he'll defend first, and I'm kind of. I've come back around to that side. For a while, I was actually selecting defend first because who was it? I had a good rivalry with TMNL going on in the Wicked Forest the last few seasons, and Stu used to defend very effectively, and run the column defense, and if he was able to keep keep me from scoring in that first half, he got to go into the second and really milk it, and it kind of got me thinking like, hey, I like that. He likes to defend. Oh, his other theory is that Wood Elves break real easy, and if he's got a full team of Wood Elves, defense is a lot easier. So he'd rather defend when he's got a full team.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah.
It's easier to make your score when there's only 8 of you, and it's easier to make your defense when there's the full 11.
Absolutely.
That's a good point that I never considered.
Yeah.
So I guess now there is a reason I might want to actually defend.
The downside, I mean, with High Elves, it's maybe a better theory, but the downside for me is that, you're giving up a lot of extra hits in the beginning, and a bashy team could really mess you up. So...
Especially if your team doesn't have a Mighty Blow player.
Yeah.
Then you might... you don't get that advantage of trying to take someone out right away.
Yeah, and if the opposition doesn't, too, that's important. If they don't have Mighty Bow players and they're not a big threat like that, then you might say, all right, you know what, I'm going to let you get your hits in first because I'm not that concerned.
Right.
But I'm not giving the Green Tide Titans the ball first if I can help it. That's for sure.
No.
or a Norse team, like I play a Bort's team next week. I'm not giving them the ball first. That's just like I'm sure they're not going to let me to get the ball first. Norse are all about.
Well, you're kind of a bashy team too. I don't think you probably ever want to give someone the first.
Yeah, no, I'm not giving them. Again, unless it's a team. No, even then, personally, I'm never giving up the chance to hit first.
Yeah.
I want to take a lot of people off that pitch.
Yeah. But I was a firm believer that you never really want to. I see other people do it, and I kind of disagree with their reasons. But that point you made was really good. It's a lot easier to defend with a full Wood Elf team than it is with 8, which is what you're looking at.
And I can't take credit for it, though. That's Stu. Stu, that's Stu's philosophy. He got me thinking that for a while, and it never ended well for me. Maybe I'm just not the type of coach that takes advantage of that well. It just never went well for me. So this is this is the other thing, by the way, about the Leaping Lizard. This lineup is just so perfect. This is a team that might actually give you the ball first, because scoring that hit on their defense is just is next to impossible. 3 strength 5 guys, they line up right next to each other. One of them has guard, and then they put these 2 players over here sealing off the corner. The only way this could go bad for them is if there's like a advance, the offense advance. You get the free move. Forget what that kickoff event is.
I don't know. I always think of it as a false start.
Yeah, they could. False start goes unchecked. It forces you to they give you that shot at them, and you can't even take it. So you end up doing things like dodging off the line with a beast man.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that Chaos teams are probably not used to. And that moment...
Oh, they're not used to playing a team that has so much more muscle than them.
Yeah. And there goes Sprammelgers. Again, it's almost like...
He was the guy that wasted the reroll anyway.
Yeah.
Let's get him off the pitch.
It's almost like Leaping Lizard, gets the first shot. It is. I mean, Leaping Lizard gets the first shot, effectively, really. I mean, there was only one guy that took a hit. That was Slade. But then my question is, if you weren't going to attack with that guy, why even line him up why line anybody up on the Crocs? Unless unfortunately, Harry was fighting the realization. Harry was fighting the realization of the concept that he wasn't going to get to knock the guys on the line down. And only when it came time to finally make the block did he finally come to terms with, guess what? I'm going to have to retreat. And this is, Reap Warp, Dalshin is probably not used to getting pushed around like this. Kano's in his face, and he's on the ground.
I like that name too, Reap Warp. That's a good name.
It is pretty good for a what looks like to be a computer-generated default name.
Yeah.
No
Reap
props to
Warp
Harry on
and
that.
I Sweat. Those are my favorite Chaos Warrior names.
I hope Harry is naming his new players. Harry's a pretty creative guy, and I like to see creative coaches. Really
the Thugz have been around for a long time. My first team, the Cold Hard Truth, the names were all
I remember that. I remember that. Yep. You still wrote some pretty cool stories with them.
Stupid lizard names. Yeah.
Yeah, all the lizard names are like based off of like you know, they're all like Mayan type of language names, so they're like a lot harder to pronounce. You got like Utexlashiks of Maffinkurs, and then you're like, what the?
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so I tried to only make 2 of them in my stories. I tried to only use 2. I used 1 skink and 1 saurus. And I did introduce the Croxagore once or twice, but I never really made a story out of them.
Yeah, and those stories, the center of attention was always Coach Seston and Alan, and it worked. I mean, it was really cool to see that dynamic. Like, the team itself was just kind of a backdrop. And, you know, and then I really like how it shifted now with Dignity, where each individual player is a character. And when I watch somebody on Dignity, you know, get permanently injured or even die, and like I'm like, oh no, not that guy. You know, might as well be a real NFL player.
That's what I was going for when I was. It took me a while. I was trying to think of how I wanted to do stories for Dignity, and at first I was thinking I would do a personal journal for each guy. You know, instead of a story where Alan was interviewing them or whatever, I was just going to do like a journal page.
Right.
And then I came up with this idea, and I was like, you know what, this is better. This is much better.
I think people liked Alan too much. I think it would have sucked to not have Alan be a part of the story.
Yeah.
So it's good that you decided to do it that way. It's good. It's also really cool to see a different turn in the story. Again, if you're interested in reading these stories, all of these, even the ones with involving the cold hard truth, can be found on mmlpro.com. And wow, baseball is just not doing the damage that you would think he would exact upon that skink. So Silly with only 7 armor to break in, because he's stunty, it effectively becomes 6 when you hit him. You would think that
he would be in trouble, but no, he was fine.
What's who was it from Dignity that published a whole breakdown of how those stats work?
Tactician?
Yeah, so what would Tactician tell us that the chances of breaking stunty armor with Mighty Blow are? It effectively
exactly
becomes armor 5.
Do?
It brings down your armor by 1.
His armor? Yeah, so it makes it armor 5. So you need to roll a 6, which is, I didn't even calculate it down that far.
Actually, stunty just makes it so that a 9 is an injury.
Yeah, that's what I thought it did. It reduces, it changes the injury roll, not the armor roll.
Oh, I've been looking at this all wrong.
The most common roll that makes a stun becomes a KO.
I did not, that's, wow. As long as I've been playing Blood Bowl almost a year now, and I just realized that. Oops.
Yeah, so he's still AV7.
So I must have read what that does, 7. Like early in my Blood Bowl career, and then never re-examined it, like when I didn't really understand it. Yeah, you're right. So I was reading it now.
Mighty Blow against AV7, you need, the Mighty Blow makes it a 6, so you need a 7 to 12, it is 58.8%.
Yep.
I did not pull that out of my ass. I have it written down and went and looked at it.
I wouldn't be surprised if you did. By the way, the problem with the... no, I meant I wouldn't be surprised if you pulled it out of your ass. I mean, if you pulled it out of your memory. That's what I mean.
I could have told you that it was just around 60%, but I couldn't tell you that,
Gotcha.
exactly.
Well, you did an article on it, so like I said, obviously you're well versed on it. But what the other thing that Stunty does is it allows you see this guy right here, Minnie, or a girl right there. Minnie can actually ignore the tackle zone she's leaping into, so it's always a 67% just based off of her ability. So she could actually go right around this beast man right here. Well, there's different ways that she could do this. There's an open tackle zone here, so then she only has to make one 67% dodge, and then she's got that dodge skill, so if she fails it, she's good. She gets to re-roll it free, and then she can reap right around, or she can make 2 dodges through here.
While we're on the subject of Stunty, everybody loves their Stunty skinks. How come I'm the only one I've ever seen try to use a goblin in the same way?
No, I use them all the time when I can. I have a farm orc team I heavily believe in goblins. If you are not using a goblin on your orc team, my humble opinion is that you're not fully utilizing your orc team to its potential.
I completely agree.
You know, but that's my humble opinion, never having coached them in the pros. And in our pros, none of our orc players carry goblins with them.
Have a goblin, right. They all have trolls. Yep. Having a goblin with a troll makes it so they have to keep a safety back.
Yep.
And everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, you know, but that being said, I mean, there must be a reason, right? Because these orc teams are pretty successful. I mean, two of the three.
It's because they want to play tough. That's why.
Well,
they want to play tough.
It obviously is working for them, so maybe I'm the one that doesn't.
I would at least bring one level 1 goblin to sit on the bench to take a spot.
Yeah.
You know?
How much do they cost? 40K? 50K?
40.
Why not?
Yeah.
You know? By the way, as we've been talking, the Leaping Lizard has managed to free this ball up. You know, the problem with another thing that Don likes to do is he likes to load his skinks with sidestep whenever possible. And as you saw, Minnie had sidestep, and when basically, I'm not sure if Harry considered that when he hit Minnie, but he was trying to clear her, I think, so that he could try to like dodge out of that, and all he managed to do was push her to another part, keep putting the tackles on, make him unable to dodge.
Yeah.
And, oh God, another wild animal from Baseball Fury. He's his tackle zone's going to remain intact.
Well, he had 50% on that though.
Oh, he was trying to move. Okay, my bad. I thought
he was trying to move.
I thought it was a blitz. No. Okay.
It's still unfortunate, but it's not as unfortunate.
Right. Skinks again, because Don I don't think has any. Yeah, he has no agility for Skinks. So this is only a 50% with one tackle zone on that ball. It's a 50% chance to pick it up. If he manages to, like, if he stands Slukely up, which he's going to, Slukely's going to dodge out, and he's going to let one of the Skinks have it. Again, only managing a push. The blocking dice are not being very nice to Harry.
You got to love that 2 heads with that dodge going.
Yeah. Man,
second head is the best head.
That's what I tell my girl. No. So I think that especially in being in a bashy conference, the way really across the MML, it's become pretty bashy. I think if you're a Chaos team, man, stop letting people try to talk you out of putting claw on your players. You really, really need it, because this is.
If you play against a lot of Wood Elf and Skaven teams, you waste those points.
Yeah, there's just not. It's not like the MML has a lot of Wood Elf and a lot of Skaven teams. There are a few, but there's a whole lot. If you add up all the orcs, the dwarves, and all of that, it's pretty bashy throughout.
Yeah.
I mean, take a look at how our
we have a lot of Norse teams though, and they're also 87, so it's also a waste there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, true.
It's a risk.
True. I'm not sure that Harry necessarily planned for his specific conference. I think he went back down to the Challenge League for a year because he dropped out, right?
Yeah, I believe he did. Yes.
Yeah, so he may not have been. He may have just been keeping on with his team, just building it to take on all comers. Yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
If I have the chance, I do have a Chaos team that was playing in the Challenge League for a while, and I'm putting claw on at least some of them. I start with Mighty Blow, because I feel like that's more across the board useful, but don't let me get to 2,000, or so TV. It's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
There's going to be board meetings talking about how we need to stop the special rules. And they'll be led by all the orc and dwarf coaches.
I mean, if it's only happening to 1 or 2 teams, it's not that big a deal.
No.
The problem, why we all left the official league, is because 80% of the teams were a Chaos Kill team. And even if 80% of teams were Wood Elves, it's still boring to play the same team all the time.
I mean, I'll be honest, man. The Chaos teams in there are not the ones that give me the issue in the Cabal Vision. I look at those like, oh, I can swiftly disable you if I need to, or I can do things to cope with it.
Yeah, but you're still having the same match over and over again.
Yeah. But I think more of the what separates the MML from that is that this just offers so much more, right? We have backstories, we have franchises building, we have games announced, we have scheduled matches, there's a playoff, and moreover, there is just a more of a sense of community and a like common courtesy. The crap you see in the Cabal. What I don't like, and Coach Dundon's pointed this out before in a board meeting, is you got one guy that comes in and or you have a guy playing you, and he's got his Chaos Kill team. He goes for 2 turns trying to smash you, maybe injure a couple of your guys. You manage to turn the tables on him, and the second you're about to score the first touchdown, he just concedes.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And the reason he's doing it, you're like,
it shouldn't let you concede unless it's the beginning of your own turn.
Well, how are they going to stop you, right? If you really want to, you just turn off your PS4.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. So they can't really do anything about that, but we can do something about it in the private league, because we actually have admins that know you and they can launch you. Unless Cyanide was willing to invest to have like online administrators that are like, okay, let me review what just happened, and you didn't stick to our rules of conduct, so we're going to ban you from matches for a few days because you did that.
There's so many people playing that official league that.
And even then, I would say if they started policing it, it might actually drive some people away, which I don't think they want to do.
Yeah, I think it probably would.
So it's tough. I don't know. But what we got going here, basically, I think just a much better alternative. Just because it's kind of got that customer service
oh, absolutely. For so many reasons.
Yeah. And again, that ball just sitting there, surrounded. The Chaos team has managed to keep enough tackles on it, it's specifically baseball, so that the Skinks can't get at it. But something tells me, Seston, that's about to come to an end.
Yeah, he's got to do something to lock up those SARs to his side.
Yeah. I mean, he's got Snake locked up or marked, but he could be freed by Hodor. And then you got the Punisher, who's just you got Kano, who's over here just waiting to inflict a fatality.
And baseball has frenzy, so if he makes his block, he's no longer on the ball.
Yep. Absolutely, and Minnie is just sitting there waiting to take it to the house. This is a tough situation, man. My advice to the Thugz for next season is get 2 rerolls, man. At least 2. You get 3, you're golden.
He had 1, didn't he? Or did he? I wasn't here at the beginning.
He still has 1. Yeah, he has 1. He picked up the half, but he bought it in inducements. He didn't buy it for the team.
Oh, okay. Well, it's important enough to get with inducements. Maybe your team might actually like to go around with 1.
Yeah. Then he went the opposite end of it. I think his AOS team, his Age of Sigmar team, has a team with 6 rerolls where I'm like, okay, now that's bloat.
I like 6 rerolls on my orc team. I use them constantly. I never finish a half and still have a reroll left.
Really? Well, then it's not bloat.
Yep. Exactly. I'll take it down if we ever start holding on to them.
That's probably because you use your orcs a lot like you use elves, which requires the rerolls.
Yep. This is true.
You have like a team like Kaven's Wrecking Crew. They don't take a lot of chances, so they don't need as many rerolls.
Yeah.
Even Don doesn't take. Don takes very high probability chances, and he tries to roll as little dice as possible. So that's why you see Leaping Lizard with only 3 rerolls. They don't go for the 4. I personally like 4 for myself. If I can help it, whatever team I'm on, I like 4. Even if it's just a little bloat. Because F Nuffle, that's why. I've been screwed enough times that I just, I'd rather have the comfortable, comfortability.
I have to agree, yeah.
And we're about to see baseball take a push. And Leaping Lizard, speaking of rerolls, uses one of those. And does not want to knock him onto the ball, and that is very smart because now again you have 3 tackle zones. Excuse me, 3 tackle zones on that ball, and now you can do that. But a critical skink failure, and that could potentially change the course of the game, depending on what Harry does right now. I mean, the thing about Chaos is they can bash, but they are at least medium dodgy as well. Oh, and Baseball fails to get up.
Bad time for that.
He was just going to stand up, so it's good. He didn't waste his blitz, at least. But I honestly, for a second, I thought he was going to stand. Nah, that wouldn't have made sense. He wouldn't have had. I think he would have still been able to get a 2-die, no? 1, 2, 3, 5, 2. Yeah. If he hit the skink away, if he hit Mini away. Mm-hmm. The only issue is that, again, it's not like, he'd have to flatten Mini.
Mantle could have got up already, too, and that would have taken off Wade's tackle zone on him.
But again, the problem with the sidestep skink is that if you don't smash Mini, she's going to go right into the ball, either away from the ball or still keep a tackle zone on you. But at least you get her away from... Oh, there you go. So Harry decides to try to smash Mini. He's got the tools to do it. He does it.
Bounce that ball all over.
And that's what... So Mini throws her body onto the ball.
Good job, Mini.
And that ball lands, unfortunately, in Kano's tackle zone. And now the question becomes, does Smirnoff want to take the 50% chance of picking it up or just keep that tackle zone on the ball? The other thing is that, to me, I think it'd be smarter to leave them there because if the Thugz manage to get this ball and pick it up, you might want to just get it to the other side of the pitch, try throwing it. Again, these Chaos Warriors are just as dodgy as they are bashy, and you theoretically, just an option. And this, you can do that. What he's doing right there. Yep. Crayley breaks up that wide zone. I mean, this is risky, but. And will he use his reroll? Wiry pelt.
Oh, and that's why we don't like rerolls.
Oh god, and it turns into that's bad, man. So basically, Harry's inducements rendered just useless. They failed both times that he's tried to use them.
Well, the first one alone did try to use it.
Yeah, but so basically they've been neutralized both times. Uh-oh. It looks like it's about to be a nasty day for Smirnoff. Now the thing I will say, at least in Smirnoff's favor, is there's very little tackle on Don's team. In fact, I think Wade is the only Leaping Lizard with tackle. And as I brought him up, he's going to employ that tackle.
Here he comes.
And it comes in very useful. Yep. Smirnoff is injured. And that's a bad one.
He's got an armor down.
He's got a fractured
skull. See the doctor
skull.
Come out?
And he
I
does
hope his
not
doctor's better than mine. No,
does
he
not
didn't.
use the apothecary.
He doesn't need his skull.
Yeah, this is looking more and more like 2-0 Leaping Lizard. It's looking really bad. Unless Skinks can manage to pick it up. And man, these lizards are just cleaning house now. You see Ricky move into place. Who will it be? Oh, we're gonna see a foul. Are we gonna see a foul on Baseball? Is that what's gonna happen? No, I guess not. He wouldn't have moved away the swords first. No, he comes over, picks it up with Vinny, and Vinny's gonna sit in the cage.
Safest place for the little guy.
Hodor plays cleanup. Oh, this is just looking ugly for Chaos right now.
And then Oliver. And Oliver plays cleanup too.
Yup. There's only one player left standing for the Chaos team. There's just not a lot to do at this point. I mean, I don't know, if you're Harry here, do you try to stop this imminent touchdown basically, or do you just go to bash mode?
I don't know. You might just go to bash mode and try to get some SPP out of this.
Yeah. But if he was going to do that, I would have thought he would have hit the skink with Baseball Fury. And he decided not to do that, so. I mean, theoretically, he could mark Vinny. But, yep, it's hit the Hack-a-Skink. And he's going to put Minnie down. Let's see if Minnie stays down. Nope. Damn, that AB7's been holding up.
Double ones in that armor roll.
Nuffle's not doing Harry any favors.
Darn you, Nuffle.
And things are looking good for Leaping Lizard, who really needed this win to stay in, in a decent position for the playoff hunt.
How's Dawn doing this season? How are the Leaping Lizards doing this season?
Yeah, we're saying he's actually number 6. Leaping Lizard is number 6 in their play pool. I think they have.
Wow, that's not very good.
Yeah, I think they have 1 win and 2 losses, or I don't remember exactly what it is.
Well, this will help that.
Yeah. Looked at it before. I actually have MML Pro open right now. And by the way, if you're watching this game, if you tuned in late and you didn't hear me say it before, you can find a lot more MML action, the backstories on this team, the standings, the upcoming games, and just general, good stuff and cotton candies laying around over in that website, www.mmlpro.com. East Division in the Wasteland Athletic Conference. Let's see. The Leaf Dancers are number 1 with 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 tie. Leaping Lizard is number 2 in that conference with 1 loss and 2 ties. But in the play pool, the Sword Coast Conference is obviously taking the top spots in the play.
So he's about to have the same record as Dignity: a win, a loss, and 2 ties.
Yep. I didn't get to catch that game last night, by the way. So was it? I heard it was good though. It came down to.
I had 3 guys get injured in the first 3 turns, so the rest of it was really hard. But because he made a misclick, I was able to break even with a tie.
Oh wow.
That's a win in my book.
Sturm's got to stop playing drunk.
This is an excitable game and your fingers get all twitchy. It happens to everybody.
Oh, it definitely happened to me. Happened to me last night. By the way, so it looks like they're setting up over here. I'm wondering what they're gonna do. I guess Don is gonna stall it out, but I'm not sure. Oh, okay, he wants the Saurus touch. Don loves the Saurus TDs.
Give the Saurus the ball again.
Yep.
At least this time, if he never picks the ball back up, he still wins.
And if you remember,
last time I saw this, he lost.
Yep. Last time we saw this was like 2 years ago when they were playing the.
Actually, I did a draw then.
Yeah, it was a draw. Right.
Okay.
He blew a win. Yeah.
And Dundon had like 4 guys on the field. I had still 10 or 9.
Yep.
And it was a draw.
Yep. We tried the. Don got greedy with the Saurus touchdown.
At least this time you win either way. So.
Yeah, I mean Ricky managed to salvage. Probably not a good move. This is a very risky move. The game is still 1-0. So I guess I see Don's desire to get Blake that touchdown because 3 SPP from a touchdown will level Blake. and then he can get some other kind of juicy stat that will help him to compete in this difficult play pool. But man, if that bounce had gone the other way, that was probably about as safe as a fail as you could manage. No, theoretically, if that pass had gone the right way, he could have dodged Frisney Beard out, picked up that ball, and then launched an improbable pass without any rerolls. And then he could have won the game. But stranger things have happened. So, looks like Harry's trying to push for a surf. And actually, alright, so he's not going to go for the surf. He's just going to knock Oliver to the ground. The AV holds up, though, and where will Baseball go next?
Get a nice good hit on Slade here.
And I wonder if Don is stalling on purpose or if he's just trying to get the Saurus to touchdown. I wonder if he would have scored right away. I don't see any point in stalling. And now if you score, then the other side, it's not like Chaos is going to be able to tie the game up. But either way,
they are going to get 4 attacks on your guys.
They're going to get that anyway.
Line in 1 blitz.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, Thugz went first. No, you're right. Okay, then there is a point. Sorry, I thought Leaping Lizard had the first, at top of the turn. They don't. So yeah, stalling does make sense. Snake unable to put down Frisney Beard. And Wade's gonna come back and get some more. Again, Don Eagle says, Wade, you haven't been putting up the kill stats I wanted you to get. And you better get back over there and get your kill stats.
Oh, there he goes.
And Wade answers in kind. There goes Slukely Mantle, who's going to be badly hurt. We're not going to see him back in this game. I'm sure Don doesn't care that it's not a permanent injury because it's SPP, and that's all he cared. That's all he cared about with that. So.
Oh, he did score it.
Yep, Ricky's just going to go ahead and score. He's going to give the Thugz a chance to retaliate.
Stupid skink hit himself in the head with the ball. They're cute.
Shots is asking what's wrong with playing drunk, about my reference about Stern before. No, it's cool if you don't make mistakes. In Shots' case, though, Shots actually has Shots plays better when drunk, so I would say
up
in your
to a
case,
point,
keep
I
on
think.
drinking. Yeah, oh no, yeah, I've played against Shots before when he hit that point.
Yeah.
Off through brilliant coaching. Harry gets another reroll for turn 16.
That's what it is. Brilliant coaching, not superior coaching.
Yeah.
I knew it was something like that, but that didn't sound right. Who's gonna smash?
This time those Baxaurus are stepped up to help with the frenzy.
I'm just catching up in the chat here, and I just
fuck's sake.
Yikes! Well, and the reroll useless.
And your third reroll is used.
Maybe Harry just needs to stay away from rerolls. Yeah. Maybe they're no good for him.
Maybe you don't need the rerolls.
There's a reason
maybe
why.
You need skills that make it so you don't need the rerolls. Maybe that would help.
Yeah.
Screw you, rerolls.
Leaping Lizard's going to be the one who gets the round of free line hits instead of the Chaos team.
Maybe they knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, it was because I was a little surprised about the decision to score when he did. Unless you knew this was going to happen, because this is a whole bunch of extra available SPP. Like, oh, free SPP, yeah. Well, I don't mind if I do.
Wade gets another shot.
Yeah, Kurt Chunk says that's the riskiest block to take first. Yeah, and I really wasn't kind of paying attention to the setup this time around, Kurt Chunk, but I will say that I think because of Don's strength lineup, it may have been the only available. Yeah, and look at that. Leaping Lizard has just enough rerolls to get what he needs. Because the third one used...
That could have been Wade's death.
Yeah, for all we know,
could
right?
Have been. Yeah. That reroll cheated us out of it. This isn't fair. One team has rerolls and the other doesn't.
I think Don still got his Apo as well, too, so let's see.
I think they both do.
Yeah, that's right. Harry chose not to use his. I was surprised on Sloopy.
Yeah, that guy didn't need his skull.
Or on Smirnoff, rather. So
good game, Harry. The dice were not with you. A little bit too much once.
Never are. Time to retire.
No, don't do that. It's always a pleasure playing you.
Yeah, Harry, definitely I would
say...
You
played very well, but the dice were just not with you.
It's the first time ever I've rolled 6 of winnings.
Congrats, mate.
Congratulations.
Finally.
I would echo that sentiment that Don just made. It's, you know, Harry, you're a good coach. The positioning is definitely there. The understanding of the game is there. It's just, you know, the no rerolls and the lack of experience in how to properly use them when you have them is hurting you. So I'd say, you know, go back to the drawing board on the reroll situation. Try to examine it. Maybe it's not something you do this season, but for next season, maybe we see you come in and re-examine that. But
well, I'm thinking it might be time to retire the Thugz at this rate. I think not getting the wins with 3 Chaos Warriors is always going to be a struggle. It's the lost one last season. I think Chase killed him. In that game there was 3 strength 5 players if you like, and they were hard to mark up. And it's just, I knew it was going to be a struggle from the start, so I don't know what to do.
Have you come across any other races you like on the farm?
I've got a few farm teams. I do have another Chaos team actually, which I might bring in, but the TV's too high at the moment, so...
Oh, okay. Well, you can do some TV management. I'm sure there's a lot of coaches around the league that'll help you with the TV management, and you know, obviously, More Shots is an expert when it comes to Chaos, you know, roster management. So I'm sure he can help you get there, and he's offering his help in the chat as well. So you're definitely one of the guys.
On a brighter note, do I buy another Chaos Warrior or a reroll?
No, it's a tough decision.
It's going to be a Chaos
Warrior.
Well,
the way the rerolls worked for you, I would say Chaos Warrior.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's how I'm going.
Exactly.
Yeah, it just depends. You know, it also depends on who you're playing and your schedule. You know, like the strength 4 can be critical because it can give you 2 dice instead of 1. But you know, if you're playing a team like Don's, who's got a bunch of strength 5 guys, then strength 4 doesn't help you as much. So
yeah, they do make a big difference. Those guys there.
Huge.
3 of them strength 5.
It was weird, right? Like lining up on the line and figuring out, like I literally can't get a hit off on these guys. They're too powerful.
Well, it's like they lined up there, and it was our turn, and basically they all pooped the pants and backed off and let them come to them. So I thought, nah, I'm not messing with them.
Don, how do you think the game went?
Well, for me, pretty well. I needed to win. I was a bit sad about the ones that he was throwing. Even on armor rolls on the skinks, he rolled double ones.
Yeah.
So he really didn't have any luck. So I felt sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes it breaks that way. Nuffle breaks that way, but I've seen less than some lesser coaches blow good dice by not knowing how to properly take advantage of it. And you played this very technical.
Yeah, but his tactics were very good.
His was, yeah.
He went for the skinks. He went for the skinks, and he didn't manage any injuries or knockouts. So what can you do then? Lizard team has his full strength, and it's very hard, especially second half when he had 3 guys out. I wouldn't like to be in his place.
Yeah. Like I said, good coaching play from both guys. I think that's what we as the viewers like to see. People that know what they're doing, even when they're given not necessarily the best situation. And again, it's also nice to see somebody who gets good dice and actually takes advantage of them and doesn't do stupid things to blow them. So. Good job.
like dodging a Saurus?
I don't know. I didn't see that. What? Did somebody dodge the Saurus?
Yeah, my first game versus Spong, I dodged the Saurus when I was about to score with him.
Oh wow!
So I wanted to move the Saurus with the ball, and I clicked the Saurus who was based, moved him, and of course that failed. So
that's fine. We've all had those moments. The misclicks,
the
movements. Like I didn't see that guy. I've like the worst part is when like somebody's hiding behind a big guy on the screen and you don't see him and you think a dodge is what it is and then you get burnt by that guy. That
yeah, I've been extra careful the last few games. Selecting the target and then going back to see if I don't have the dodge percentage on it.
Right.
That's what I've been doing too.
By the way, so who got MVP? It was looks like it was Silly. So it looks like Wade got 6 SPP, and we know that none of that's from touchdowns. So it appears that Wade had
knocked all 3 out then.
3 casualties, right? That's 3 casualties for Wade. And if you guys have been following the league leaders that we posted for the league, the current most violent player, the most violent category right now is tied, I think, at 4 casualties inflicted. So if you wanted Wade to get back in that fray for the leading MML most violent player, this was a good game for him. 3 casualties inflicted should put him back in the mix.
He's at 6 now.
Yeah, so that should catapult him up there, and we'll see what those other competitors who are, who each had 4 will do. If any of them had 3, then Wade's going to be out. Wait, but I thought Wade had 2 or 3. I don't remember. But so if he's at 6
I think great talk with Kano helped. Kano was stealing his injuries, so Kano was a bit low today. Didn't do much. And
he may have taken him in the back room and said, "Hey, I'm the alpha." He told him, "I'm the alpha. You back off."
Yeah, well, it's hard managing this team. All the yelling at the locker room. It's.
They're out of control.
Yeah, I'm sick of these guys. So I'm looking for other opportunities for next season. So
nice. Well, we'll see what it looks like. Bernie had a pretty good day yesterday. I don't know if he racked up any casualties. Dirtiest Randiest, I didn't see the NTB's Rodentia ad nauseum game. He was one of the other most violent guys, and I don't know if Impwa's played yet. I don't think he has. So we'll see what Impwa has to say about Wade's good day and if he wants to top him. And I don't think from memory that Rob Shank had a great day yesterday with the casualties inflicted. So
don't think so.
Yeah, Wade may be the new most violent player after next week. For leaders wise.
Yeah, I hope I can turn the season around. I really needed this win. Yep.
Well, good job, both of you guys. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for commentating.
Oh, of course. It's a lot of fun. And Seston, you got any questions for him?
No, I think everything's been answered.
Cool. All right, well, if you're watching, you have been watching the MML. Check us out, mmlpro.com. And hey, if you think you got what it takes to coach in the MML, maybe you start a farm team, and if you can build that farm team up, and they make the challenge team, gain some respect, and then they get their shot at the pros. One day you could be having your game announced by me, Serious Jest, or Seston, or playing against the likes of Coach Don Eagle or Coach Harry Warthog. Thanks for tuning in. We're out.